Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I got a 2012 Subaru Outback 2.5 liter. And when a customer comes in and they ask for, let's say, a transmission service out of the blue, 99 times out of 100, there's something wrong. So ask the customer, you having any issues? Oh, no issues. Okay. Well, that kind of bothers me when people say that. No, there's no issues. Well, you got 193,000 miles on it. So I'm sure there's got to be some kind of an issue. People don't just come in and ask for transmission service. It's very rare. If it had 40,000 miles on it, 30,000 miles on it, 50,000 miles on it, something in that range, okay, I could see that. But it always makes me wonder. So anyway, as soon as I get in the car, what's the first thing I see? A handheld code reader. I mean, right then and there, that kind of tells you they got something going on. So I start the car up, and yeah. So we have stuff going on here. Let's see. All right, there, the parking brake is off now, but we still have a brake light flashing. So obviously we got issues. So I'm doing a code scan right now. Let's let this thing do its code scan, and let's see where we end up. Okay, so what I'm finding here is I got engine code 0, bizarre, but I got history codes of a PO420. That's a cat efficiency code. So if you look here, we have engine code 0, cat efficiency code 420. We have the anti-lock brakes picked up a electronic or ECM control system issue, which is basically it's telling you that, hey, there's a problem up here. Okay, no big deal. Right rear ABS sensor issue. Parking brakes got some issues. Tire pressure monitor's got some issues. But we have the cat efficiency issues. Excuse me. And then, here's where I usually like to look, is if you look, these are the test completes for readiness monitors, which those are the ones that I'm always concerned with. Now, all of them are checked off, meaning that it's run all the monitors, so everything looks okay there. Sorry, I had to stop that there because Rob had a question for me. But it's obviously we got something going on. I mean, there may not be anything going on with the transmission whatsoever. So, but it always throws up the little radar, like whenever you see a little code scanner in a car. So, but let's take it for a ride. Let's see what it does. I mean, if it shifts absolutely fine, I mean, it's a CVT. That's the other thing too. If it feels good, then I'm not going to be concerned. These things are known for having valve body issues, but there's no valve body codes in it. So we'll just have to see. I'm going to take it for a ride, see what it feels like. If everything feels good, we're going to service the transmission. All right, so I'm heading back from like a 6-mile road test, and the transmission actually feels perfectly fine. I don't feel any issues with it, no shuddering, no shaking, no weirdness. It actually feels pretty darn good. So maybe this vehicle's been serviced multiple times over its life. So I'm going to get it into the shop. I'm going to double check the fluid condition before starting, because sometimes what we'll do is if the fluid is really burnt up or something like that, we'll tell the customer, hey, just so you know, your fluid is burnt up. We've seen it to where we service it, and it may not last afterwards. It does happen. I've seen it to where do a service and then all of a sudden transmission fails like within a couple of days. It does happen, but usually that only happens when the transmission fluid is completely burnt up. So, all right, let's get back to the shop and see what she does. All right, so up under the Subaru, I'm going to try to take a fluid sample first. I want to see what it looks like before we go ahead and just drain it. All right. Wow, somebody tightened the bejesus out of that. All right, let me get something a little more substantial than quarter drive with a shorty on it. Hang on a second. All right. It appears that this drain plug has been out before. I can see tool marks on the inside of it. I don't know if you can see the quality of that, what's dripping out and hitting the container. See it? It actually looks pretty good. So, all right, this thing has been serviced before. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna verify with Rob first, and then we're gonna drain this out and go from there. All right, so let's drain this thing. Their fluid is actually not that bad. It doesn't stink or anything. It smells like it should. So, all right. Let's let that drain down, and then we're going to go ahead and refill it once this thing completely drains out. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit. Now, I know it's just a little bit that I got in there, but if you look, I mean, it's pretty clean fluid. So no issues there to be concerned with. I did drain it all out. So now let's put the drain plug back in, and then we're going to have to fill it. And on these, what you do is the fill is back here. And you take that fill plug out. Notice what I did, right? I didn't pull the fill plug out first. Even I make mistakes, told you that. So I didn't pull it out first, so mistake on my part. So let me go and put this drain plug back in first. Check with that. See, that's the one big problem with making videos. Sometimes you get so caught up in doing the video, you forget your procedures. And I did. So now, there, it came to a stop, and I'm just gonna go a touch more. You don't have to go bananas tightening those things up. All right, now, let's just hope that the fill plug comes out easy. Let me go get the right size socket for that. I think it's a 10 millimeter. The drain was an 8, I think that's a 10. Let me go get a socket. Now, if you look too, you can see tool marks in there from somebody having this out before. So I should have taken this out first and I didn't. That was my mistake. I was so caught up in seeing what the fluid looked like, I just forgot to do this. But luckily everything was okay and I didn't have to worry. All right. So now let's get some fluid and fill this. And the way you do this is you fill it till it starts coming out, start it up, run it through the gears, and then keep adding until fluid comes out, and then you're done. Okay, so we got fresh fluid inside that filling container. I have the hose going up to the transmission. I'm not going to film this entire thing because I know this thing's hissing air and it'll come through on the video. But I just turned the valve slowly, and you can see the fluid running up and inside. You don't want to go bananas because otherwise you're going to make a huge mess. So have it go in nice and slow and easy. Of course, you could do this with like a hand pump thing or whatever, so no big deal. All right, so there you see it just started to drip out. So I closed the valve on that. I'm going to take the air hose off, like a coupler release. Now, being slightly overfilled at this moment is okay, because I still have to add more fluid to it, more than likely. Like I said, I gotta let it down and run it through the gears. So let me do that. All right, so I'm just letting this thing down now. And like I said, I'm gonna run it through the gears. Now you gotta take that fill plug out and then keep adding again until it starts to come out. Let me just verify the fill procedure, but I'm pretty sure I gotta have it running in park. Sometimes some vehicles are neutral, I just don't recall in this. So we'll just verify that first. and actually leave the wheels off the ground a little bit. This way they can spin, I can spin it through the gears. Okay, and yes, the procedure is basically run it through the gears, reverse, neutral, drive, do it a couple times, stick it in park. They want the transmission temperature between 90 degrees and like 145 degrees. So the transmission's warm, so I'm not concerned about that. It'll be fine because the fluid will expand. You don't want it ice cold, but you don't want it boiling hot either. So it's like right in the middle. Right now I got it in drive. Traction control. Where's traction control on this car? Off. That's probably already off anyway because this thing has that issue. Okay, just letting it spin up. Don't gotta go bananas. So the ABS still works. Okay, it kicked ABS, that's what that was. Neutral. Reverse, make sure it's in reverse. Remember the good old days when a speedometer would actually go backwards? Okay, now park. All right, so now leave it idling. I'm gonna put it back up in the air and let's check the fluid level. Probably gotta add some. Hopefully, I had 5 quarts in total between a gallon container and then what was left in a gallon container. Hopefully I don't need any more than 5 quarts because that's the last that I have. So, we'll see. All right, so back underneath, pull the fill plug out. I have my drain right here. And the transmission is pretty hot to the touch. It should require more fluid. But there again, I didn't do anything other than drain it and refill it, so you never know. No, it is going to require some. All right, so let me hook up the bottle. This is going to take me a second. Put said hose inside. And like I said, I hope I got enough fluid. We're going to find out. Oh, okay. And no, I do not have enough fluid. Yummy. Now the awesome thing about this CVT fluid is it smells like gear oil, but it's as thin as transmission fluid. So yeah, I got a little bit on me and sprayed some on the floor. What are you gonna do? But yeah, I don't have enough fluid. So let me get some more fluid. All right, so I got the fluid. Start adding this. Like I said, slowly. Been running the whole time, so the temperature has actually gone up. It's pretty hot now. Not overheating or anything, but it's probably like 110 degrees. And there it goes, just starting to drip out. We'll shut that off. Take the fill out. The thing I hate about these things is that they are quite messy. So, that's good. The fluid level's where it's supposed to be now, right where it needs to be. I'm just watching it drip. So that's good. You don't have to put any more than that in there. So let me put this drain plug back in and then let's take it for another road test. So that was about 5.5 quarts, I think, in total, maybe 6. So there, it came to a stop, and then just a little more. That's what you gotta do. You gotta go bananas. Clean it off nicey nice. And let's go for a road test. I basically went on the same road test I went on before. Everything feels perfectly fine, no issues. Nothing I feel anything to worry about. I think what I'm going to do is the codes for this thing are for the cat, and I'm going to recommend to the customer that we change the O2 sensors on it, because I could say probably 50 to 60% of the time just changing O2 sensors for cat codes will resolve the issue. Because what happens is the front O2 starts to get a little bit lazy, and the computer can't see that or doesn't recognize it as an issue, but it could see that the ratio of time that the sensor is moving compared to the ratio of time that the sensor downstream is moving is getting close to each other and matching or whatever, and it throws the code for the PO420 or 430 or whatever it's going to be. So a lot of times just changing O2 sensors will resolve it. Besides, if you're going to put cats on it, you're going to put new O2s on anyway. So if it doesn't fix it, you put a new cat on anyway. So anyway, so the transmission feels great. Everything seems good. And we're going to leave it at that. I'm just going to get back to the shop and park this and contact the customer, see what they want to do. But other than that, everything went good. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of that. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. If you look down in the description below, you'll see that I have links to Amazon products. What I'll do is I'll put a link in there for that fluid installer. It's actually it's a recovery and an installer unit all in one. But you got to clean it out, obviously, between fluids so you don't cross-contaminate and stuff like that. And I'll see if I can't put one for an air and see if I can't put one for a manual hand pump style, because they do make those. So, but if you look down the description, you'll see it. If you could at least give it a click, I'd appreciate it. You don't have to buy anything. If you do, that's great, because I do get a small percentage, so it does help me. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching.